Welcome everyone. This is Mike from ZozoStockWatch.com, and this is your market news, stock watch list video for Friday, December 1st. And yes, it is December 1st, starting this Friday. So let's go ahead and we'll start getting right into it. FIVE had earnings after the bell, and five earnings per share and revenue beat for five, and they guided up. As you can see, the stock popped in the after hours and then faded off during their conference call. Next up, we had Ulta. And Ulta had earnings per share revenue in line, and that stock was down, recovered a little bit, but Ulta mostly to the downside in the after hours. Mosy, MOSY. They had some news also, and that stock was ticking up. Semiconductor name. Mosey regains compliance with the NASDAQ. All right, so Mosey is back on the NASDAQ or staying on the NASDAQ. Zoom's earnings per share in line for ZUMZ. And that stock fell off and then bounced right back up for Zooms in the after hour after their earnings per share in line. AMBA. Earnings per share and revenue beat. That stock popped in the after hours and then kind of faded off. And let's just check GoPro if that did anything, because they make the chips for the GoPro equipment, and GoPro didn't do much of anything. So AMBA, earnings per share, revenue beat. Like I said, stock popped and faded off a little bit. Let's scroll through our news from the Trade Exchange news service, and VMW, earnings per share revenue beat, and that stock also gapped up and then pulled back on VMW on their earnings release. Tonight, don't forget the IBB will be doing a 3-for-1 split tonight for the IBB. So it should be trading down in the 100s, I guess, tomorrow. TEUM was up in the after hours, TEUM. And that stock was trading up a little bit after hours, but then moved back down on TEUM. AJRD. That stock was moving up in the after hours tonight. Voluntarily delist from the Chicago Stock Exchange will retain New York Stock Exchange listing for AJRD. VRSK to acquire Power Advocate, VRSK. Not doing too much on that. Blue Apron had some news. APRN, let's see, that stock was up in the after hours a little bit, trading in the $3 now. Wow. Blue Apron appoints Brad Dickerson as Chief Executive Officer. APRN company reaffirms previously stated financial guidance. So they're reaffirming their financial guidance. So this stock, Blue Apron, was up a little bit in the after hours. FMI, FDA approved Foundation One CDX cancer biomarker tests. So FMI, some news after the bell there, and that stock moving up nicely in the after hours, up almost $4 on FMI. There was an earthquake in Dover, Delaware tonight, 4.4 earthquake. Let's see. Amazon is exploring talks with generic drug makers. So let's see. Generic drug makers. Mylan was up. Let's see if Teva was up on that news. What's another one? VRX? No, that's not a generic drug maker. Well, anyway, Mylan and Teva were up. I can't think of any others at the moment. SKLN. A little bit of a pop in the after hours. Dawson Jameson Securities announced the completion of private placement for Skyline Medical. Let's see, LLNW announcing pricing of public offering at $4.60 for LNW. And that stock not doing much in the after hours so far tonight. And AVO S3 200 million mixed shelf. So AVO They filed for that, and the stock was down in the after hours. Let's see, director for ALT, some purchases there by the director. Not doing much after hours. FLDM also some insider purchases. That stock was moving up in the after hours on FLDM. All right, so we'll leave it there. We'll go into the next thing. So for your top gainers tonight, you had IMMR, VSTM, ARGX, MLNT, ZEAL, EEP, FSNN, XNet, LB, NCNA, HCA, CHDN, and then for the losing side, JMEI, DSGX, Juniper, since they're not going to get taken out by Nokia, Momo, SOGO, CIG, BNED, Stamp, and Nat Gas was down today after the release of the nat gas numbers. Also now for call activity, courtesy of the trade exchange, to the unusual call activity side, we had Merck, TSEM, MRO, M, UNP, 5, DKS, ABV, WPX, and SUM, and then for put activity, we had JC Penney's for unusual puts. For your calendar of events for tomorrow, let's check our company earnings for tomorrow. This is the Trade Exchange calendar. We have GCO, BIG, and AMWD reporting earnings before the bell for Friday, December 1st. And let's see, we have motor vehicle sales coming out tomorrow at some point, and I think that's like around 9 o'clock or so, I think, for the motor vehicle sales. PMI manufacturing, 9:45, 10 o'clock ISM manufacturing, 10 o'clock construction spending, and 1 o'clock the Baker Hughes rig count. We have some Fed speak to throw into the mix also, 9:05 and 9:30. Tonight we do have some numbers coming out from the Asian markets, 6:30 Japan, 7:30 Japanese PMI, and at 8:45 China PMI. So some numbers coming out from Asia tonight. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at the market action today. Very strong day for the markets. The Dow was up another 331 points today. The transports were up 198 points. The NASDAQ composite was up about 50 points for today. And, kind of a parabolic move here today in the SPY. We all complain when we get these small little candles. All right, but now we're getting these big, huge candles. And if we throw some Bollinger Bands on the chart, I think we're outside the bands now. Yeah, we are. We're outside the top band now. So, getting a little bit to the overbought side here on the SPY. We'll take a look at the IWM. And let me remove some of these lines again for you. Sorry about that. And we're outside the Bollinger Bands. We're kind of riding them, though, so we'll see what transpires with that. IWC also, well, this is not above the Bollinger Bands, actually stuck just below the Bollinger Band here on the IWC, and came up to this resistance spot again on the IWC and kind of pulling away from it. The Dow Jones 30 outside the Bollinger Bands, and a big move up there as the Dow for the first time breaks over 24,000 on the Dow Jones Industrials. The thing about the market today was that the UVXY was up and the VIX was also up today. So that was a bit strange. The VIX being up 5% for the day as the market was moving up. You don't see that too often. So a little bit of a divergence there. I don't know if the market's going to sell off on that, but just something to be aware of as the VIX was moving up today. Oil. OPEC had their meeting today, and let me take these Bollinger Bands off. And OPEC had their OPEC meeting today in Vienna, and so some good comments there. They're going to probably extend the cuts for another year, and so the USO is back up. We'll take a look at oil. Light sweet crude oil, and that was trying to get back above 58. So far, no luck with oil getting back above that. OIH popped a little bit today. The OIH, the services sector, and names like Schlumberger popped, but kind of gave back the gains here on Schlumberger and Halliburton. And let's check out Rig. Yeah, all pretty much the same type of candles, popped and then pulled back. So the oil service sector is still struggling a little bit. And let's check out the refiners are having had a really nice day. Refiners, VLO, PSX up nicely, VLO, and then HFC. A refiner kind of just basing here right now as one of the refiners. So maybe that one's going to go next. So keep your eye on that HFC. All right, and the transports, like we said, were up again today. Big move here. Was struggling down here, held above the 200, and now it's gotten a little bit parabolic here on the transports. You know, the rails were moving up strong. FedEx moving up nicely today. UPS moving up very nicely today on those names. KSU, Kansas City Southern, moved up, and UNP, another railroad. CP, Canadian Pacific. This one hasn't jumped as much as the others, so maybe it's kind of the laggard on CP. If you're interested in a railroad, keep your eye on that CP. All right, so that's some of the markets. Let me see if there's anything else. Silver and gold faded off today. So silver and gold did a lot of nothing today, but pull back. And SMH was up about 62 cents, trying to hold this 50 SMA on SMH. NVIDIA trying to hold the 50 SMA. Let's check out Apple, trying to get back over the 10 SMA there. You see buyers stepping up in Apple. Amazon recovering, remaining back over the 10 SMA. Facebook trying to hold the 50 SMA. Netflix trying to hold the 100 SMA on Netflix. Did we do NVIDIA? Yeah, we did NVIDIA, Amazon, Facebook, Tesla. Take a look at that. Still struggling there on Tesla and Google, still below the 10, but holding above the 50. Some buyers stepping up here around the 1,015 area for Google. But, definitely some, the techs are still some selling going on there. We'll take a look at MU, pulling back to the 50 SMA here on MU, and AMD. Also still struggling here. Looks kind of like a bear flag here on AMD. May have some more work to do to the downside on AMD. All right, let's go ahead and get right into the watch list. For tomorrow, we'll have this ARDM on watch, 2.1 million shares traded in ARDM. Next up, DPW. The connection here with Bitcoin is that they make the electronic panels and whatnot for these computers for Bitcoin. So it's holding this 5 EMA, trying to get back over and establish that 175 spot on DPW. So keep that on watch. EGLT, still holding above the 5 EMA here on EGLT. 2.2 million shares traded, so keep this one on watch. I think if it can get over the highs today, was 135 high today, it might go. We'll see how it sets up intraday. ELSE, nice candle here, expanding volume. Scientific and technical instruments. So, if this one could take out the highs, 439, you might get some more volume coming into that name. All right. Next up, we had Fold. trying to get back over the 50 SMA. Looks like if it can clear, 1405 or so for fold, might get back on track there in that name. IMGN, nice pop today, 3.2 million shares. Over maybe 640 for the 650 break. IMGN mark. Kind of just flagging here, holding in between these two lines, the channel lines here. I would think it needs to get above, 905 and hold above it for MARK. MRO, an oil name. Turning back up, would like to see this one get back over $15 a share. MYSZ. We actually traded this one in the room today. We got a decent trade in it, so we'll have this one on watch again for tomorrow. NBEV maybe starting to try to turn back up on an NBEV. All right, not a pretty chart at all, but maybe kind of one of these bottoms up type of stocks. NBEV volume a little bit shy here of 300,000, so. More of maybe a swing trade type of thing. OPTT was up in the after hours here, so we'll see if there's any kind of follow through in this candle on Ocean Power. All right, so keep that one on watch. SORL also popped, looking for it to take out, the 750 number here on SORL and possibly push up. SRAX. Not an easy one to trade intraday because of the spreads and whatnot, but we'll have this one on watch for tomorrow, see if it wants to turn back up through maybe that $6 area on SRAX. STLD, nice pop in this name. The steals are looking better, and so I'm looking for this to continue back up on STLD. TEUM. This one, like we said, had some action in the after hours, so we'll see if there's any kind of movement in this one tomorrow. TEUM, TXMD, sorry about that. Nice pop in this name today, 5.4 million shares. They actually had news last night, so I'll have this one on watch, see if we get some kind of continuation move there in TXMD. Sorry about that. And VCEL, nice pop, nice candle. Looking for it to get back over maybe that 450 mark on VCEL for a possible continuation move. VKTX. This one, nice candle today, 1.4 million shares traded, and you see it's kind of in this range here. Let's see if it wants to move up. I don't know if it'll do this tomorrow, but maybe even next week if it can get up over this 325 spot on VKTX. VSTM, moving up nicely today. 2.1 million shares traded in this name, and the high today was 427. So over that 427 mark, we might get a continuation move. Could possibly fill this gap here up to, maybe like 489, 490. And then you have the, the natural resistance, the $5 area here on VSTM. And once again, 2.1 million shares traded in that name. All right, so that's it for the watch list for Friday, the 30th. This is Mike from ZozoStockWatch.com. Come trade with me. We do swing trading and day trading. Please hit the like button if you're enjoying these videos. Also, feel free to leave comments in the bottom of the YouTube video, and have a great Friday trading, and we'll see you over the weekend with a stocks to watch list over the weekend.